Quantum Biopharma, ticker symbol QNTM, has invested into GameStop. Now, it's not a huge purchase, but will companies end up following? We also have XRT shares being completely taken out of the float, used, borrowed against it to short, as well as GameStop's, and both of them are nearing zero, meaning there's not a lot of shares left available to borrow to short either of these plays. 0.72 Capital, which is a hedge fund that went down during 2021 during the GameStop squeeze. Well, they didn't go down like Melvin Capital, but they lost at least 15% on GameStop trying to bet against it during the January 2021 run. Has, long story short, bet on GameStop's downside again with $29 million worth of puts. Now, an interesting theory that I've saw float around about this is that they could be a convertible bondholder in GameStop, in which case switching or shifting their position that they originally had from back in 2021. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. Watch until the end of the video, like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn post notifications on, guys. And again, if you find value out of the video, I really appreciate you hitting that like button. It is completely free. Before we complete GameStop, AMC, and a few other squeeze plays I'm going to talk about, Nvidia is down today. It recently had its high at 174, almost 175, got a pullback all the way down to 164. AMD, same thing, 162 down to 149. SoFi got a sell-off from 2275 down to 1980. Unity got a sell-off from $39 down to 33.75, basing off of support. A lot of these stocks, a lot of these major companies are selling off, and I could go down the line. But the long story short is that things are finally seeing the first signals, the first signs of a pullback. Now, the SPY is still holding on top of this rising wedge right here that we see after it tested above 629.71, but we can tell from this setup that this was a clear as day bull trap. They tried to do it down here, but they could not push it below 618 to trap bears. But right now we are seeing liquidity being pulled for a bigger move one way or the other. And in my opinion, of course, I do still think we are due for a correction down towards 600. But again, the longer we hold up here, the higher we hold up, and the higher we push, I think it's less likely the lower we go. So any point, the amount of time we stay up here, the retracement price could be rising, but I do believe we still have this gap fill on the table, and that also brings you down to the 50 on the daily, okay, for the moving average. Really quick, we have some earnings plays coming up. Thursday, INTC. I'm not going to spend too much time on these. I just want to tell you I'm bullish on INTC. I will be buying into the earnings and then also playing a little bit of call options on that. If you want to know the exact position, get in the Discord server. I could be very wrong. We could sell off from here, in which case I would be buying more INTC for the long-term portfolio. ARM is not reporting this week. It's actually reporting next week on Wednesday. But based on the setup, ARM has been trading in from a while ago, a call out I never entered into. I do believe ARM is going to be bullish coming into next week, coming into their earnings, and possibly get us a push up to 177. Google has rallied before their earnings even was announced, and I warned you for a possible huge macro head and shoulders on the chart. Will we be going down from here for Google, and will they disappoint for earnings? Keep in mind, earnings season is about halfway in right now. It has hit. Earnings season has hit. There's still a lot more to go, and I would say more major players to go. But over half of companies that have reported earnings from the S&P 500 have already beaten on earnings. So over half of them, I believe about 60%, have already beaten on their earnings expectations, which is quite a surprise seeing how overvalued the market actually is and actually sits right now. Tesla sitting in this wedge, could break one way or the other alongside Google. I would tend to go more downside just from a technical standpoint on Google. However, normally when you see a setup like this, it's too obvious, and we could gap up on Google right to 204.75. I believe Google's way too risky to play. I also believe Tesla's way too risky to play. Tesla missed on their last earnings, but decent guidance coming into a bull market carried Tesla forward. And from the most recent earnings, we have so much downside that we have not made up for, that I believe I would lean bearish on Tesla earnings rather than bullish and a breakout to the upside. Let's talk about crypto very quick. $4 trillion Wall Street giant JP Morgan is exploring loans backed by clients' Bitcoin and crypto holdings. This is huge. Before I tell you about this, I want to tell you very quickly, just going to take a minute, about the sponsor of today's video, Public.
Are you looking to trade options without high fees? Because Public is one of the most cost-effective platforms out there. They're the only broker out there that I've seen that actually gives you a rebate when you trade stock and ETF options. You can earn between a 6 and 18-cent rebate per stock and ETF contract. And there are no commission or per contract fees for stock and ETF options. You can even trade index options on Public with industry low fees, such as SPX and NDX that cost as little as 35 to 50 cents per contract. But it's not just about price. Public is built for smarter trading. The options hub shows trending contracts in real time. You can customize your options chain to see the metrics you care about. Public Strategy Builder helps you pick positions with confidence, and you can also queue up multiple trades and execute them all at once. And with rolling options, you can adjust your positions as the market moves. New to options? Public's Options Resource Center has everything you need to level up. Start trading with confidence and keep more of what you earn with Public. Click the link down below and head to public.com/lottery stocks to get started.
Now, guys, don't forget to go press that link. This is huge because JP Morgan originally shifted their stance from, yeah, Bitcoin's a scam, to now, hey, we're going to explore loans backed by clients and crypto. And this could also open the crypto market as a whole very, very wide and could push Bitcoin's price much higher alongside altcoins from Bitcoin. $410 billion PNC Bank partners with with Coinbase to offer crypto services. Bring us into Bitcoin's chart on the 4-hour. Again, this is a little choppy here, but we have been consolidating. I would say we are slightly leaning towards a breakout on Bitcoin. 119 is a stronger level than 118 or 117. Seeing 119 or above shows that we are trying to slowly grind and move to the upside. Like I said before, I still lean that we are going to get a move up to 131,000 rather than a retrace down to 110, and I do still think that is coming. As far as alts go, that will be crucial for altcoins because a lot of them are in this position where, is it over? And this goes for Bonk and XRP as well. Is it over here, and are we going to go back into, a bear market and sell out from here? Well, if Bitcoin does make that last move to 131, these can have another leg up and possibly another leg up following that as money rotates out of Bitcoin into altcoins very briefly. And our first signal of that, of course, is Ethereum continuing to run. Now, Trump Media is now the 5th largest corporate Bitcoin treasury with 18,430 Bitcoins. So shout out DJT. Then you have Riot, CEP, Mara, and then MicroStrategy on top. I didn't know Mara was up there like that. So let's talk about back into GameStop. So we had Quantum buy. We had their lending pool basically dry up today. And then we had the Steve Cohen's .72 capital management betting on GameStop's downfall as well, possibly being a convertible bond holder. Yesterday, we had this random spike in the chart on GameStop. I know you all saw it. It got us pretty excited from flat trading for a couple weeks now, like 3-4 weeks, probably a month, right? Or more, just of complete boring trading, no chaos whatsoever. And then yesterday we got a random candle, 4-hour candle that just jumped 5% out of nowhere, which got people pretty hyped. What this looks like, again, I've been calling out that we are back here. There's a couple of things that we could have seen on the chart. We could have seen this little blip in the chart that you see right here. That could have came yesterday, and we could be right on the verge of a rally, or we could be right at this peak where we get a little bit of retrace on the verge of rally. Either way, I do still believe, and this also goes with the altcoin bet. My original thesis was that altcoins are going to peak mid-August, and I believe the same thing possibly with GameStop. I think that there's a major opportunity here as we have been flat trading, low IV, cheap premium price in my opinion, because it's very close to being able to buy the whole flow. It's sitting at a $10.8 billion market cap. They got $9.6 billion in cash and total assets, and probably actually more than that, seeing Bitcoin's around 120,000. I just don't see a world where I bet against it or I sell off stock or options on GameStop, no matter how flat it's trading right here. I see this as an insane deal to continue to load up. Not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, but August should be an amazing month for GameStop as well as AMC, as AMC is actually spending its longest amount of time hugging this resistance line. This is what is called a spring. This is building a spring finally at the top of this, showing extreme strength on AMC. And we actually had volume pickup recently coming into this. So we made higher highs, higher lows coming into this, and we're building a spring for a possible breakout to the upside, in which case I believe AMC and GameStop are going to move together. And there's no way I go into this weekend without call options and shares being added into the portfolio. This is just my outlook. Open Door, a lot of people need coverage on Open Door. Open Door got slammed yesterday all the way from $5. It basically hit 5 on the dot almost. Seemed almost programmed. There was probably a sell wall at $5. They didn't want it to get hit there. People started selling off blocks right before that. A lot of retail probably wanted to sell at 5 as well. We got slammed immediately from 5 down to $2.80. It got halted and things just looked ugly. And now today we are falling momentum, as Open Door does, in my opinion, have a lot more room to the upside. Will that happen? This is where it gets unfortunate. And the reason being is because when you see price action like this, at this point, when you get in the levels of these zones and you start to get close to people going in the red or people losing profits, what happens is this large sell-off effect where people are going to start cascading sell orders and possibly giving up on Open Door right here, running away from potential losses or eating at more and more profits, especially from this all-time high. I mean, the stock price is cut in half from yesterday to where we're trading at right now. So again, a lot of sex. So what's your final verdict here? I think Open Door had and has a lot more room to run, possibly, but it all just depends on, are people going to marry this stock? And I'm not sure. There's a lot of media hype around this. People are posting YouTube videos. People are posting Twitter threads. People are talking on Reddit about Open Door being the new meme stock. And the fact that it can just blow over in, a day or two and people forget about it is kind of unlikely. But at the same time, the sell pressure effect could very quickly take us to sub $2, down to the support at 194. And at that point, I don't know how people are going to react to the price. One I can tell you though that I've given you is RKT with a super high short interest, around 60%, has been building momentum. This one's given to you for free. It's about to get across on the daily to the upside. It's trading at $16, up another 6% on the day. We've been covering RKT rocket companies. I think $17.15 is next, and it's going to get hit this week, and then likely, if things carry over, we go higher than that. It looks like shorts are exiting coming into earnings July 31st, the very end of this month. Very close. I think shorts are just trying to get out coming into earnings. I don't know how high this is going to go, but you have volume follow through on both of these days, and this is the beginning of the momentum. GNS is up 3%. Slowly picking up steam today. This is the weekly time frame. I believe GNS has a lot more room to go, possibly above $7 a share, which sounds crazy, but they have been making more and more moves. And the CEO just decided to let out a tweet today as well. Over 46% of Genius Group's float is now locked up at our transfer agent for investors interested. For investors basically wanting to DRS your shares. I can't talk. You can flame me in the comments. Today's GNS 6K, the company is providing an update on the status of its ordinary shares being held at its transfer agent, VStock Transfer LLC. The company issued 50 million shares related to the previous asset purchase agreement with Entrepreneur Resorts, yada, yada, yada. We talked about that before in a separate video. The float is being more locked. Liquidity is going to get tighter, and they still have that lawsuit with against naked short selling, and then that possible dividend thing that's going on. GNS is trying to make moves to get itself out of the gutter, and you can tell even without drawings that, whoa, we might be at a turnaround spot here. Possibly for GNS. Can we sell off and just go into the deeps again until they go bankrupt and delisted? Possibly, but is that likely? I would guess not. I think as lowest as we can go, that would really put pressure on people is probably very early August, probably the second week of August, coming down to about 85 to 80 cents at most before scaling higher and getting a pop after that. Overall, guys, that is what I got for you for today's video. I really hope none of you are sleeping on bull. It's up another 7%. I was accumulating this under and at $11 a share, trying to tell you guys. And there's actually big news that is coming out, not necessarily with them, alone, but it's going to be pretty big news for retail, and I'll be making a video on it very, very soon. That video should come out very, very soon. But that is it, guys. Again, like the video. Don't forget to go check out Public. I love you all. God bless. Lottery Stocks out.